Child, House on Fire. I still have not got back into House on Fire. I'm going to make it a priority to get back into House on Fire and to get caught up in House on Fire. But of course, most of the cast are my mutuals, and I be getting into the tea, and they be really talking when episodes come out. I hadn't even got into this, but let's see what he talk about after the past week's episode.
What's up, everybody? I hope all is well. I just wanted to jump on here and share some of my feelings with you about the latest episode. I'm really not understanding what the fuck is up with these girls. When it comes to Tati and Brooklyn, I don't understand why they would set me up and what reason they have to set me up at all. I've never given them a reason to set me up, unless they're just straight out haters. Brooklyn, I'm also not understanding why you would tell this girl that I'm the one that called her a prostitute when you were actually the one that called her a prostitute. You bugging. You bugging. The mother, it seems like you're always trying to save face, point fingers at me, and never actually correct your daughters. I don't get that. Is that what mothers do? Lolita, you never can pick a side. You always have those girls back even when they're wrong. And that's not right. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Chanel should actually be called the messy one. Because when Chanel makes a joke, we find it funny. But when I tell something that someone said, I'm being called messy. And at the very top, Leyna. What's up with you, sis? You sit there and say that you're okay with me repeating back the words that you say, but you actually can't ever repeat back the words that you say yourself. All the girls in this house are messy.
All the girls in the house is messy, AJ said. Child, well, AJ, last time I checked, wasn't you trying to be inducted into the house, AJ? You were trying to be inducted into the house before you knew everybody well enough to know that they was messy. And that's why I'm telling you, D, get to know the children that you have to be in cahoots with. Honey, Tati and Brooklyn and set AJ up. How did Tati and Brooklyn set AJ up? Oh, I gotta get into the show. I got to get into the show. And they throwing around the word prostitute, honey. Oh, Lord, not ladies of the night, honey. Dirty Diana. Said, mother, you don't correct your daughters, honey. And how did Lolita get into it? AJ, you didn't even have no real critique for Lolita. Not you that came for Lolita. Everybody loves Lolita. AJ, what is going on? Honey, I'm going to tell you what's going on with me, AJ, honey. I am feeling that cannabis infused grape soda. Honey, the nigga juice got me nigga. AJ. And AJ essentially said what everybody says about Leyna, that she's phony. Y'all know I love Leyna, honey. Let's see what Yusuf and Leyna's talk about, honey.
It's unfortunate that my name got, thrown through the damn mud.
But what I don't like is that everybody's putting it on him. You see clearly where that shit came from in the whole in the episode. So I need everybody to circle back and really realize where the fucking shade came from, and not just putting it on the Butch Queen. The girls were girling, and we're not even touching on that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we're missing the bigger picture. You didn't even see nowhere where he was oh, I know that, da, 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 da. No, that came out of Miss Mama's mouth. Miss Brooklyn being messy. If we want to go into it. Let's go into it. Her calling you a prostitute out of pure just she had to defend her shit. You know what I mean? Which was absolutely wrong. So I want to talk about that since I have you. I know you beating that face because you got somewhere to go, and I know this is a situation that most girls, don't like to talk about. People don't like to talk about this, and to be honest with you, a lot of people have been through that. A lot of people are still going through that shit, and I think that how you handled that situation was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I think a lot of people, you helped a lot of people, you touched a lot of people. Shit, you touched me because, growing up, gay in Miami. I had a lot of friends, me myself, I've been put in situations where like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? Like, is this, how did this just happen? You find yourself in some fucked up shit, you know what I mean? And I think that that's just not a girl thing. I think us guys go through that shit too,
Yeah.
like sex work and prostitution and all of this shit. But for somebody to say it and try to like weaponize it or make it seem like, it was kind of fucked up.
Sex work is the backbone of our community because it is literally the only way we have found resources or found access to having resources because of that. If you think of any trans woman before 5 years ago, there is a history of us trying to just navigate ourselves because we cannot access healthcare, we cannot access education, we can't access these resources with jobs, we can't access resources with housing. So we have to go out in the world and we have to kind of be in a sense of survival tactical experiences where we're meeting people that are lusting over us and they want to spend time with us, but they also don't want to bring us into the sunlight. So we have to be kind of the lady of the night in some aspects. And when he said the reference pretty woman, this is not just a queer thing or a trans thing. This is a universal conversation. Sex work is
Across the board.
it's the oldest, it's the oldest form of work since the dawn of time. And for trans folks and queer folks like myself, I want to go to college. I wanted to go out and have resources. I wanted to be, an astronaut and a doctor, but going to apply for those jobs, going to apply for those applications and getting those grants. People always want to send you like, oh, well, we don't know, or we don't have, we don't have resources for folks like you. Maybe try community college. It's like, no, I want to go to Harvard. I want to go to Howard. I want to go to Boston Conservatory. I want to go to Juilliard. And that was originally my dreams. But, we are out here and the only opportunities that we have are those opportunities. And it's unfortunate that that's the case. But, it's important that we bring awareness to this and we start the conversation because this is a conversation that we are not having with each other. This is a conversation that we throw under the rug, we put in the closet, and we just kind of like, show face and act like everything's okay.
Yeah, and I think it's a conversation that man and woman should have. You know what I mean? Like it's something that can go back and forth, and then you realize that like kind of the struggle is pretty much not that far off. It's the same shit. Wait, somebody's saying something. Mark is saying something. It's never to shame anyone for their survival. If Brooklyn was hurt, you know what? Out of hurt, you got to really be careful with what you say. Like I don't excuse people like, oh, I was hurt, so I said that. Because right now, like this day and age, you got to be really fucking careful with what come out of your mouth because you say things you can't take it back. And it's like this ain't an episode of Housewives, no shade Housewives, where girls can just go have dinner and apologize. Sometimes you say shit and it's like, know that you probably ruined a relationship that you could have had and a friendship that you had or a bond or something like trust. Like we can't do that this day and age. You know what I'm saying? So like think about the shit you say before you say it. So I'm not making no excuses for her. That's no excuse. Like I don't give a fuck how hurt she was or what she was going through. Like it's no reason to like, try to like throw that in as a, self-defense. Like, girl, do something else. Like,
what it is? A lot of people cannot find dirt on me, and they think that this is dirt. This is not really dirt. This is actually something very real that her sisters and her mothers and her mentors all had to go through. So, it was unfortunate that I had to have this conversation with the rest of the world and have a part of my past, which is my truth, come out at this time. But this is also a learning experience. Yeah. This is also an ability for people that are strippers, that are sex workers, that are escorts, that are out here doing OnlyFans, that are out here doing content that are showing that they're beautiful. And and this is the perfect time to have the conversation. Maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it wasn't the right time to have the conversation, but right now it is the perfect time to have this conversation. And we need to bring more awareness to this because sex work is work, and it deserves to be seen as work. And I love when I was stripping at
Oh, okay. She going into her whole sex worker spiel. Oh, right. I get what they're saying. I get what Yusuf's saying. Brooklyn definitely has to be wary if you gonna, be emotional and you gonna say things on camera that you wouldn't say to people's face or that you don't want to say to people's face, honey, you gonna have to have those discussions with them before you start filming or something. But Leyna is like, I be trying to get with her, but it's just something about her. She just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. I don't know if she needs to tell more of her story, because I've heard her tell quite a bit of her story. And it's just like, it's a turn off. And I'm sure she probably has, or I get the impression that she probably has the thought that girls who think like me, like we're probably hating on her. We can't take her confidence. But no, it's just something really not likable about you. You know what I mean? I've always got along with the pretty girls. I've always got along with the it girls. I've always got along with the it people. You know what I mean? And I think it's because they could sense that I don't want to take their spot. I have my own, and I'm comfortable with my own spot. So it's definitely not that, Leyna. Not with me. I'm sure it probably is some girls that probably just can't take the way you look or whatever. But not all of us. Not all of us. Not all of us. And it's obvious because Leyna views don't be doing good. You know, I had YouTubed her. You know, she pops up in my feed because I talk about trans stuff and I talk about her. But her views don't be nothing. Everything she's on always has the lowest views. And I think the only reason people even tuned into Femme Queen Crazy Sexy Cool episode was for the same reason I did, was to see what was going on with Lola. What's going on with her and Lola. You know? Leyna had, a lot of us had recognized her who didn't know her through Ballroom. A lot of us had recognized her with the whole Victoria's Secret thing. And I guess it started from there, honey. But look at my sis, Hope Giselle. Hope Giselle is all of the things, honey. Hope Giselle, it wasn't no stopping her from going to college, honey. It wasn't no. And that made me question Leyna, too, because it's like nobody stopped you from doing these things. You could have still went to school. A lot of trans girls went to school, especially somebody who think that they hot shit like you. Honey, you would have worked out well in college. You would have made a lot of necessary connections for the fashion industry. I mean, I became a girl in college. I first heard the word transgender when I was in college. I don't know your story. I mean, based on your story that you tell, Leyna, I don't see no reason why you shouldn't have went to college if that's what you really wanted to do. I always got the impression that you really wanted to be a model, which is nothing wrong with that. You do that and you're successful at that. Wasn't successful at Victoria's Secret, though. My sis, Hope Giselle, has worked with them, and she's not even a model. Yep, they didn't put her on the runway. But apparently, the white, oh Lord, spilling the sea. Oh Lord, child, what is going on, honey? I know what's going on. All right, let's come back. Child, technical difficulties, honey. Technical difficulties, honey. But the white queens over there at Victoria's Secret, yep, Victoria's Secret is that she's a man. The white men over there like her. I don't know if they queens or not, but they definitely give me trans attractive, both of them. Definitely give me trans attractive. I think they both is queer, especially this one over here on the right. Because, you know, white men usually don't look that young unless they're a little regular, you know. Yep. Work, Hope. Hope was looking good. Okay. Yes, come on, Hope Giselle. Alright. Get into it. Okay, get into it. Leyna, apparently I'm not the only one who feels this way. Leyna, are you in therapy? It's just something that comes off real standoffish. I get the impression, just my intuition tells me it's a defense mechanism. Um, but yeah, if you're truly aware of you're pretty, you don't carry it well. I'll say that. You know, because defense mechanisms tend to come out of insecurity, especially when they become part of your personality type. Uh, this ain't the psychology live. This is the ballroom live. This is the ballroom live, honey. She does come off cocky, D, and I didn't want to say that because I'm a cocky person as well. And maybe this is how I come off to people. I hope not, honey. I want somebody to sit down and tell me if it is. Um, yeah, I'm cocky too, so it's usually not that. I usually like other cocky people too, as long as they have a good heart. But just getting the impression that maybe Leyna doesn't have a good heart. Maybe that's what it is. Cause I tend to be able to spot a snake in the grass.